Yeah, baby. Come on in. How is everyone? Oh, we have so many people joining today. I'm so excited. Yes, I want to see people. Show me your screen. What's up, Debbie? What's up, Ed? What's up, Kelly? Adam? Patty Weeks? Kathy? I love it. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Oh, we found one. Sweet. Give me this puppy. I love it. How the heck are you? Good, thumbs up, not thumbs up. It's a Tuesday. Here in Seattle, it is drizzly. But everyone I talked to today is having great weather. So hopefully wherever you are, it's very springy. Today we are so excited about this recipe. I cannot tell you. I am over the moon with this one because I think that yeah, tagines are awesome. We're going to do this amazing lamb tagine with American lamb. But it's more about braising. And braising is such a win. And we're going to dive deep into what is braising, how you can rock it out at home more often, and why it is such just a thumbs up all the way around. We'd love to know in the chat where you're coming from. Put it in there. Let us know where in the country you are. I also would love to know what you've been cooking lately. I always love to hear what's going on in kind of the spring kitchen. But if we have not met before, I'm Joel Gamron. I'm the head chef and founder here at Homemade, and really excited to be in the kitchen with you today. A couple of just house rules. First and foremost, this is different from Food Network or YouTube because you can talk to me in real time. So if you want to, you can raise your hand. We can unmute you as long as we can see you the way that we see our buddy Lena and we see so many of our others. As long as we can see you, you can talk to us. If we can't see you, you can talk to our amazing head of production. Give it up for Christina. Christina, how are you?
I'm so good. It's so good to be back.
Yes.
In a class with you.
Yes.
Like, it's the dream.
Yeah. We are what feels like the original duo. We did so many of these together last year, but as we've grown, we've had this amazing team kind of grow with us, and we've had Meg in the chat, who's an incredible chef. And right now they're 6, so we've got Christina, which is amazing.
A pale substitute for Meg, but I'm going to do my best.
You are awesome. What have you been cooking lately, by the way?
Oh, man, such a good question. I have fallen back into the sourdough.
Oh, you're back
void,
in the okay, back
where
into
I just have
2020.
Like
it's
starter
COVID again.
with
I like
names. Like, it's wild. There's a lot of ferment. My husband's not into it. He's like, why is everything kind of bubbly and stinky? But in the end, I'm gonna figure it out.
We're still talking about sourdough. I think that, so I've been going on Instagram and stuff. They do this thing called like Will It Sourdough. Have you seen this trend?
No, but I want to hear everything about it.
So they'll take like a sourdough bread dough and then they start putting things in it and they're like, Will It Sourdough? And then they bake it. And so they'll be like, burger, Will It sourdough, and they'll chop up a burger into a sourdough. Or they'll do like Caesar salad, Will It sourdough. And like some of it comes out and you're like, okay, I would eat that. Like that is a cooked salad in sourdough and I would eat that. So the Will It sourdough is a big trend. So I don't think you're alone in the sourdough
I'll
thing.
have to check it out, but I'm not sure my kitchen or my marriage would tolerate the Will It sourdough. I just am not sure.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, we're going to get started. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about lamb because that is obviously the base to this. But I do want to get a couple of things going. So if you are cooking along, it'd be good to get some water on the boil. So I've got a little kettle here. If you guys have these little kettles at home, they are so kick butt for like everyday cooking. Like I come home, I put my bag down, I say hi to my kids, and I just press start on the kettle. Because even if I'm gonna boil pasta or if I'm gonna do anything, it's like working for me. And by the time that I'm done kind of getting my hands clean and kind of all my ingredients out, I've got boiling water and I don't have to wait for water to boil. That's huge. In cooking, it's all about letting the kitchen work for you instead of you working for the kitchen. So that's key. And with that, I have a pot, a big Dutch oven, preheating. Now this recipe is called a American lamb tagine, but I know that most people don't have a tagine. But let's talk about what a tagine is. It looks like this. So pretty. I feel like we should plate in this. Oh my gosh, who's got it? Who's showing me the tagines? Look at all the, I feel like no one has the tagines. And of course, all the homemaders are like, we've got tagines. I love it. Those look amazing. They're so beautiful. And I think that one of the few things that you can kind of cook on and then bring right to table, so they save you the dishes. And they're so impressive. And I think they're just stunning. But so you could cook in the tagine. It's a little hard to kind of brown things in the tagine, but it's really great to braise things in the tagine. So we'll talk about that. And today we're going to braise, we're using lamb shoulder. Unbelievable, right? You can also use lamb leg, but what you want to use, and this is the first win on why braising is so big, is that when you have something like lamb shoulder, imagine that I'm this gorgeous American lamb. Think about the shoulder is getting so much work because it's holding up the body, and the legs are too. So these are really tough cuts. You can't just eat a lamb shoulder and cook it on the grill. You need to cook it for a long time because they're so muscular. So no one wants them. No one wants to cook for a long time. So they're cheaper. They're more inexpensive, and I think they're more flavorful. And so if you want to impress a lot of people and don't want to just kill the budget, go with these really tough cuts of meat and learn how to braise like you are today, because I think, again, they melt in your mouth, and if you're willing to have a little bit of patience, it's a win. And nothing braises like American lamb. American lamb just has this sweet, clean flavor that I find that beef, I like beef. It's a little bit more fatty on the beef side. Lamb has this just, I don't know, it's just this kind of, it pairs so well with just the deep richness of braising itself. So let's talk about how to braise lamb and what that means. So first and foremost, I'm adding a little bit of neutral oil. Whenever someone says neutral oil, that just means an oil that doesn't have a ton of flavor. So you can use avocado oil, just kind of, it doesn't have to be the fanciest olive oil in the world. And we're gonna start by browning this lamb. So the first step of braising is browning, and you wanna get a little color on it. So I've got this pan on a medium-high heat, and I'm just gonna put little pieces of it. And you can have, by the way, your butcher or your grocery store cut up any piece of lamb that you see in the grocery store into little cubes like this. So if you see a lamb leg and you're like, I don't know how to attack that, just pick up the lamb leg, go over to the meat counter, and say, hey, can you get this ready for a stew or for a tagine? They'll know exactly what to do, and they'll cut it up for you. So you don't have to do any of that. All right, so I'm gonna get this in there. Let those start to sear. And now I'm gonna season them. So I'm gonna give them a little salt and pepper. All right, and this is the time, I know you at home, I know you wanna start mixing this and messing with it. Walk away, let that lamb caramelize, let it get sticky and delicious and kind of stick to the bottom of the pan, and that's what's gonna develop the flavor. We want this to get brown and sweet, and it takes a minute to do that. So don't mess with it, just let it sear. While it's searing, go get some other ingredients ready. We've got a ton of spices, so I'm gonna hold this up to camera. John, thanks buddy. Who can tell me, take a guess. We've got 6 spices on the plate. What do you think they are? Don't you dare look at the recipe. We'll call you out. Just by looking at them. Any ideas of what these spices are? What are we getting in there?
Paprika, ginger.
Paprika, yeah.
Ding, ding.
Yep.
Okay, cumin. Ding, ding.
Yes. Cinnamon, coriander. Here's the thing with spices and cooking tagines and Moroccan food in general. They call for a lot of spices, and that's intimidating because sometimes you don't have a big spice cupboard at home. And you're like, man, I don't have paprika. I don't have turmeric. Can I make this? If you have 3 of these spices, 2 of them, heck, if you have 1 of these, this is still gonna come out awesome. So you don't need all these spices. They add depth and personality, and they're great. But if you only have 1 of these, this will still be total rock star and amazing, all right? So I just want you guys to know that. All right, this is a good time. I can smell the lamb. Lamb has this way of searing and telling you when it's ready to kind of move. So I'm gonna hold the side of the pan, take my spoon, and just start to kind of move it around. And I'm just gonna hold up a little piece here so you guys can see. John, can you come up close to the board? Thanks, bud. See how brown that got by us just hanging out? That's the key, all right? Move them, let them sit. Let them really develop that flavor. Beautiful. All right, so I've got all these spices in a plate. I'm just gonna kind of get in there with my hands, mix them all up. These look so good. It used to be, it's interesting, one of my best friends from cooking school was an Indian guy, And he taught me all about spices. I didn't really understand spices. My mom didn't really cook with spices growing up, but he would, and he would teach me. Back in the day, they didn't have refrigeration, right, in India. I'm talking like many, 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 many years ago. So they used spices to overpower the smell of not having refrigeration. So they would just dump as much spice as possible over these meats and these vegetables to kind of hide the fact that they're going bad. And now it's just become part of the culture, but that's why they originally had spices. It was originally to kind of hide it, and now it's to complement it. And he always says spices are our salt. So it's not meant to hide anything, it's more to like heighten whatever's going in. And so with lamb, you can imagine things like cinnamon, they can work with other meats, but they work especially good with lamb because lamb has that sweetness. Same thing with ginger and all those good stuff. Yes, question.
What do you say about sumac? Could you put sumac in this puppy?
Yeah, sumac. So if anyone's not familiar, sumac's almost like a lemony spice. It comes a lot from North Africa and also the Middle East. It's really good, and it's tart, and it looks ready. You could cook with sumac. I like to finish with sumac. So over the tops of salads, over the top of this tagine, it will give it this like brightness, as if you squeezed a lemon over the top. But when you cook with it, you kind of lose that flavor. So I would stick with more of a sprinkle than like a cook, if that makes sense. Good question.
Totally makes sense. And garam masala? I think so. What do you think?
Garam masala. Yeah, garam masala is a mixture of spices. Typically in India, it's kind of like their barbecue sauce. And you would find different regions, it's a mixture, obviously, masala means mixture, but different regions where the garam masala tastes different, where it's more cinnamony, more spicy, etc. And it's just a mixture of a ton of spices. If that's all you have in the cupboard, you can totally rock it out. It'd be great. Just replace this. So what I'm gonna do, you can add the spices later or now over the lamb, but I'm just gonna knock in the spices. And it already smells incredible because lamb has that fat that just kind of like slowly renders, and it's just so good. But now once you toast the spices in that lamb, it's game over. Your whole house smells just so fragrant and so delicious. Look at that. Look at the color already on this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that.
And I can verify it smells like $1 million in here. Smells so good.
$1 million is totally true. So we're gonna let this kind of toast for the next minute or so, and I'm gonna quickly cut some vegetables. So I've got an onion, some garlic. I'm just gonna cut this into little strips, and those strips into little cubes. And the key here is like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of make it like bite size. And if you're really not good with a knife, put it in like a little food processor and just pulse it up. But you just want kind of bite size little onion here. Cool. And what we're gonna do now is very key in braising. So we've done our part in making this lamb caramelized and brown. Look at this. So I'm gonna remove it. Now, this lamb is not cooked through at all. This is still raw in the middle, but it's brown on the outside. So we did our job, and if you look in the bottom of the pan, look how unbelievably dark and rich it is. Anyone know what that's called in French cooking? There's a term for it.
I think if you've been to a class with Jenny, you might know.
Yeah, Jenny loves to talk about it. What is this called in the bottom?
Anybody know?
Put it in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
What do we got?
Our besties are there, like Lena on it, Gail,
Yeah,
Steph,
yeah.
like, oh, we know. Because
Good.
they're also PR, yeah.
Yeah, it's called fond, like I'm fond of you. And those little bits stuck on the bottom of the pan are gold and gorgeous. So you wanna cook in those little bits. That's what's gonna make this braise taste so good. So we're gonna add some onion, start caramelizing it in the lamb fat, in the spices, and just you'll start seeing the pan is starting to kind of clean, and all the little bits of lamb stuck to the bottom of the pan start to enrich the sauce. I'm gonna do the same thing with garlic. I've got 3 cloves of garlic. Smash it, give it a rough chop. So easy. And then in we go. So simple. American lamb in particular, this is our lamb. This is from obviously America. and that's the sustainable option. So much lamb, we've all heard of lamb from Australia or New Zealand. It takes a lot to ship in that lamb here. Meanwhile, we've got the backbone of America, these family farmers that are raising gorgeous, stunning lambs, and we need to support them. So wherever you are, it's always good to ask, where's this lamb from? And really support the ones that are American lamb. That's so important, not only to our economy, not only to the world and the sustainability, but your health. And that's the part I want to talk about, which is lamb is this lean meat. We need to be eating more of it. It's got great fat, but it's not overly fatty. And that's why it's so versatile. So it's one of those things that's on our menu at least once a week. And I know if I asked you guys, how often do you cook lamb? You'd probably be like, Easter, or like these kind of tentpole moments. No, it needs to become a Tuesday night. It's affordable, especially these amazing cuts. So we got to get behind American lamb. All right, I'm kind of scraping the bottom here with all the onions and garlic. It smells ungodly, like unbelievable in here. And I'm just letting the onion and garlic kind of just do its thing and just slowly start to kind of brown together. So just to recap, we browned our lamb and we added some spices to it. We pushed that to a plate. It's still raw, but it's brown on the outside. We took garlic and onion and we're cooking that now in the same pot that the lamb came from. And this is where braising happens. So right now, again, if I eat this, I mean, it's not even raw. It's probably cooked through, but it's so tough. Remember we talked about this is a muscle. This is the shoulder of the lamb. It's too tough. If I ate this, it's just, you chew it forever. And that's why no one wants it. But if you cook it for longer, it will get tender and it will break down. The problem is you need to cook it in some liquid. Otherwise, it will be dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the lamb back in with the onions and the garlic. And we're going to add some liquid. And this is what braising essentially is. You brown something and then you cook it in a little bit of liquid. You can, as long as it's got beautiful muscle to it, you can kind of braise it. And you can, by the way, that's not true. You can braise vegetables, you can braise fish, but this braising technique is really good with intermuscular fat and really, really tough muscles. That's what makes the best braises. So I'm going to start with some lamb stock or beef stock or vegetable stock, whatever you've got around. Chicken stock will work too, and you just kind of scrape the bottom. And you don't need to cover this. That's boiling or that's poaching. This is braising. This is just a little bit of liquid that creates kind of a base that allows this lamb to stay super juicy and succulent. And then we're also going to add some canned tomatoes. Beautiful. What are some things that people love to braise? I'm just curious. And by the way, extra points if it's a lamb dish. Like, what are some braised lamb dishes that you love? Like lamb stew? Oh, so good. What else?
Well, some of our besties cannot stop with the lamb puns, and I actually support them so much.
What are the lamb puns? I want to hear some.
Steph can't be too sheepish to ask for help.
Wow. Wow, Steph. I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
Oh, and Julian is saying that there's a bunch of co-ops that, if you live near the Twin Cities, that called the Lamb Shop with 2 P's and an E, which is amazing. But stew is a good braise. Lena does a lot of those.
I love it. Yeah, there's so many options, you guys. There's chili, lamb chili. I mean, I really, what I employ you to do is wherever you see chicken or beef, try and swap in American lamb. Just try it and see what you think. And you'd be surprised, again, how versatile it is and how it just adds layers and depth to whatever you've got going on. So at this point, what you want to do is you want to cover this. And I've got a little lid over here. And you want to let this cook for like 2 hours. Now, at this stage, you can let this sit on the countertop and you're done. Or what you can also do is put it inside the tagine and stick this whole thing anywhere that you can get heat, in the oven, on top of your stove top, so you can transfer it. You would want to cook it in this pot first so you get the browning, but then you can slow cook it in this. And the reason why you'd want that is because if you imagine this being the lid, what happens over time is that the steam rises inside this little, cylindrical top, and then drips back down on the lamb, making it extra, extra moist, incredibly tender. So there's a reason why it's shaped like this. Nowadays, this will still work, but what you see on the bottom of this pot, you see these dimples. No one realizes that these dimples, if I hold it upside down, they're like little raindrops. So they do the same thing that our little buddy the Tagine does, but this is the French style. So I'll hold it up so you guys can see again to the side. But it's like these little driplets that, again, if I put on top of this, will just kind of shower the lamb and really keep it really succulent. So I want to pause there. Any questions? We're now cooking it on low for 2 hours. You will not have to hang out here for 2 hours. We will swap this out. But any questions on like the braising technique of this?
No questions, but I will say that the dimples and the tagine, it's giving me Singing in the Rain vibes inside that pot. Like,
What
it
does
just
that
sounds like
mean?
a nice place to be. Like, there's little raindrops falling on your lamb. Like, that sounds delightful.
I love it.
Okay, here's some questions.
Yeah, bring 'em.
Yeah, Mike, you're with me. What about Instant Pot? What about
Yeah.
slow cooker? And what
Yeah.
about pressure cooker?
Okay, so Instant Pot is pressure cooker. So let's just, you have two questions. What about pressure cooker and about slow cooker? So pressure cooker is like, okay, I don't have 2 hours to braise lamb and make a tagine. I got to get this done in 45 minutes. Cool, you can do it all in a pressure cooker, this exact recipe. And what that does is instead of having a lid where the steam comes out, it traps the steam in it and it showers it over the lamb and it actually makes it hotter in there so it cooks faster. So that's what Instant Pots are and pressure cookers are. And they're now so cheap, you can find them everywhere. So if you want to make this faster, you can absolutely do that all in one Instant Pot or pressure cooker. That's a great question. But let's say you're like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to like go to work and not think about it. You could do every step we just did, dump it into a slow cooker, press on, and go to work. Come home, and what you have in your slow cooker is a perfectly braised lamb tagine that you can just spoon on couscous or rice and not have to think about it. Slow cookers obviously will cook over the period of the day, but it will also keep it really warm and at a safe temperature so you don't have to think about it. So it's two opposites and they're both awesome because I think it's great to whip this up in the morning and then not even think about it, but I also think if you don't have the time, there's kind of that solve too. So both are great. So I mentioned that, you know, this American lamb tagine is a great win. So it's not only a great win for your pocketbooks, because when you cook these parts of lamb, they're really cost efficient. It's a great win if you're not confident with cooking. So what do I mean by that? If you roast a rack of lamb, which is a more tender cut, sometimes you can overcook it. And that's okay, it will still taste good, but you've kind of overdone the rack of lamb, right? Same thing with grilling some lamb steaks. Those are more difficult to time out. With dishes like this, like a lamb tagine, there is no it's done. It's done when it falls apart. And it is almost impossible to overcook. Like you can let this cook for 10 hours and it will still be awesome. And so for when you have lots of friends over, if you're having 10, 20 people over, having just a pot of lamb stew or a lamb tagine where you don't have to think about it versus being stressed out about, is this cooked right? You like medium rare, I like medium, you like well done. You don't have to think about it. This is cooked through, tender, and it's just this insurance policy that your dinner is gonna be awesome. The last win is you can do this ahead of time. Braises are like a bruise. They're always better the next day. So if you can cook this, cool it, and then put it in the fridge, all you gotta do is reheat it and spoon it all on out, and it's even better because the lamb has marinated and kind of sat in it. So it's cheaper, you don't have to worry if it's done or not or overcooking it, and it's way more convenient. So it's a 3-win when it comes to cooking for people. Does everyone track that? Does that make sense? Like when I do weddings and big events, I almost always choose a braise because a braise is just it's like makes me sleep at night. I'm like, okay, it's gonna come out great, right? And it's so easy.
And ages well. Like you can let that sucker sit and it almost gets better as it goes on.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. All right, cool. The opposite of something that cooks really low and slow is what we're gonna show you now. So this, and Christina knows this because I eat couscous regularly. Like no one does. I love this. Couscous, and this is not the Israeli couscous. Israeli couscous is kind of, they look like little pearls. This is like the classic semolina couscous. You can buy this anywhere nowadays. But couscous, does anyone know what it is? Like, this is the smallest pasta in the world. This is water and semolina flour. This is literally the smallest pasta in the world. And guess what? You don't have to boil it. It's that convenient. So talk about the opposite of the lamb tagine. This is the most convenient, fast thing that you can whip together. So you don't even have to measure couscous. You just dump couscous into a bowl, right? This is just raw couscous. And remember I got my kettle boiling a long time ago? It's ready for me. I grabbed some hot water. And you just want to pour this over the couscous enough to kind of cover. So just to like make a little puddle, you can just kind of eye it, just enough to cover, and we want to trap the steam of that couscous. So I just put a plate over the top. That's going to be done in 2 minutes. Okay, think about rice, think about pasta, think about farro and potatoes and all the starches you have to do. That's how fast couscous is. I will literally make lunch like this here. Christina knows this because it's so
Totally,
fast.
and I learned this trick from you. Like I was like measuring things into a pan,
Yeah.
using the stove, and no, it's just like I'm in a hurry. The kettle's on. It's over.
Yep. Now
And we're using traditional couscous. There's a question in
Yes.
the chat. Okay.
Yes. And some ways to kind of make this a little bit heightened instead of just water and couscous. You can use chicken stock or lamb stock or any of the stocks to kind of give it a little flavor. You can melt butter into that. You can add spices. I've brewed tea into water and made like Earl Grey couscous or things like that. So you can just inject the couscous with whatever flavor you want. I love making couscous salads. So I'll steam the couscous like this and chop up all the vegetables in the house, the carrots, the tomatoes, the everything, and just fold it through and have that for days. And it's like this beautiful grain salad that you can just spoon out. And it's one of those salads you can eat with a spoon. A spoon salad. I'm going to start a new cookbook. Spoon salads. I'm into that.
I think that would sell.
That would sell. That would totally sell. All right, so this lamb we're gonna swap out so you guys can see, but I do want you guys to see this. If I pick this up, look at the dripping. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but that is the dripping action I'm talking about, and it smells glorious. So here, I just want everyone to take a mental snapshot. Can we show John real quick, really close? Here's what it looks like when it first starting to braise. And here is what it looks like after 2 hours. And do you guys see the color difference? One is more caramely and toasty and rich. I might as well go side by side. And the other one is just lighter, right? Look at this, the difference. So time and concentration and just this gorgeous flavor. This is what you get with a little bit of patience. And it's not like cooking time in the sense where you have to sit there and babysit it. You just leave it on and go watch a show, take a shower, do some homework, hang out. Like, it's not high maintenance, and that's why I love it. So let's just take a look at this lamb for a sec. Oh my gosh, this is, braised lamb for me is, that's it, man. That is it. So you can, how do you know when it's done? It's like that question that we talked about before. How do you know that it's cooked? And, you know, I do want to be really clear. American Lamb, and you can go to their website, which is amazing, AmericanLamb.com. They have so many resources. If you don't know how to cook a rack of lamb or a shoulder of lamb or a leg of lamb, you can go on there and learn not just recipes, but the how-tos and the techniques. They're one of the best resource page I've ever seen. So go to their website. But we want to be clear that 145 degrees is what you want to cook lamb to. But again, when you braise, you're not really looking for that. You just want to make sure it's tender. So I kind of just press it with my finger and make sure it's really nice and soft. But these are gorgeous. These are awesome. And you can see how thick, almost like chocolate sauce, this stock become. And that's because there's collagen in that lamb. And there's really beautiful gelatin naturally in the lamb that thickens the sauce. We didn't add any flour, nothing. And this is what makes a tagine so beautiful. Oh, this looks so good. So at this stage, this is done. And again, if you want to freeze this, If you want to put it in the fridge, what I like to do is let it cool down. So just leave it out for like 30 minutes, just let it cool down, then put it in the fridge or put it in a bag in the freezer. But we're gonna finish ours off today. So really simple. For this and a classic tagine, and only lamb can really pair the way that it does. We're gonna add some briny green olives, which gives it this salty kick. Again, nothing kind of quite pairs with dried fruit like the sweetness of lamb. So lamb just has the it factor. So we're gonna add some beautiful dried fruit over the top of that. And then you can use mint, cilantro, basil. We've got cilantro, and you guys know me, I'm not wasting stems, nothing. So I just kind of chop that up. And as I get to the stems, I kind of go smaller.
Joel, 100 years ago, I took a cooking class from you
Yeah,
in Kirkland.
yes.
And I remember my mind being blown because we made like this like Swiss chard that had vinegar in it. It was like sauteed.
yes.
But it had raisins in it. And I was
Yes.
like, what is
How do you
happening?
really?
It's so
Do you
good.
remember that?
I still make it.
Wow. That's called ensorar, or that's in Italy, that's like this sweet and sour vibes where it's like honey or sugar and then you pair it with like vinegar and oh my gosh, so good. Sometimes those opposite things, those briny sweet or those things just work together. Oh, this looks so good. I can't believe you remember that. Makes me so happy.
It's a delicious recipe. And I learned so much from you. Like this was
Oh.
back in the olden days when I was actually Joel's boss.
Yes.
And it wasn't hard work because I just got to go to cooking classes all the time. But I still have like printouts from the photocopier.
Well, let me say something about that because you guys will like this story. So my first my first memory of Christina, I was 22 and I was teaching my very first cooking class. And she was assessing me to see if I was fit to work at this place. And I was really
I was also
nervous.
22, but
Yeah. And we had 20 people in the room and we were making cheesecake. And we spent like 30 minutes making the base of this cheesecake, and it was gonna cook in a spring form pan, if anyone knows what that is. It has like a little release to it. And we put all the cheesecakes, the batters in these little spring form pans, and I go, okay, pass me the pans, everyone, we're gonna get them in the oven to get baking. And I pick them up and it just drops. And I'm covered in cheesecake and the pans just fell all over the counter and there's just gunk all over the flour. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. I'll never teach another cooking class again. And I just, right then I go, okay, who has a problem with me grabbing a bench scraper and scraping this off the table into a cake pan? And everyone's like, we don't have a problem with that. We'll eat bench scraped cake. Awesome. So we start bench scraping and everyone starts kind of slow clapping. And we kind of turned it into this like fun moment. And it was one of those things where I learned how to cook on my feet in real time. But Christina still hired me, even though it was a disaster. But we made it work.
And you know why I did. We're here today. Joel
Yes.
is magic and just like knows how to just like teach so many different people about so many different parts of cooking. Like I made the right call.
Thank
but
you.
I honestly do not remember the cheesecake drop, but it's burned.
I don't
into your
remember
brain.
this. I don't remember this chard dish, but hey, we're there. I love it. I love it. Here we are 15 years later. Okay.
Still 22.
All right. So the tagine is gorgeous. Let's take a look at the couscous. Now the couscous was done, let's be real, a long time ago, probably 5-10 minutes ago. But I can still feel that it's warm, right? And so you take off that plate and look at how it just transforms. I don't know if you guys can see that. But it's like, it went from this dry pasta vibe to like this fluffy, beautiful couscous. And you can just grab a spoon or a fork and just like rice, you just kind of fluff it like this. And it's done. That's it, man. That's couscous. The most convenient side dish on the face of the planet, the smallest pasta that exists. And I'm not seasoning it with salt. I'm not doing any olive oil. I'm not doing any of that because it's all about the American lamb today, baby. That's what it's about. So I don't know what to plate this in. Should I do tagine or should I do platter? What do you guys think? Why don't you guys vote? Platter or tagine? What do we think?
While votes are coming in, there have been some serious questions that we need to answer about.
Yes.
Okay, tagine is killing it, so no, not one
We're going
person saying
tagine.
platter.
Okay.
But like, if you wanted to make this puppy in the tagine,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
do you do like just if you could walk through
Yeah.
like
No problem. So if I was going to make this whole dish in the tagine, take the lid off. You can heat up this pan on the bottom here, just like you would any pan, just like this pot. It doesn't, I'll be honest, it's very difficult to control. Couple of reasons. Notice how there's no handles on the side here. So you have to have a towel, you have to kind of nurse it. The whole thing gets hot. It's not like a pot like this. It's also hard, even heat distribution. You'll find hot spots in this. This is not meant to have direct heat. It's meant to have surrounding heat. So this is meant to go back in the day on a fire, right? And just covered in coals. It's great for that. But on having one spot of heat, it kind of concentrates that one heat. So it's hard to brown it. So if I was gonna make this, I would cook it in one pot that is kind of like a modern pot, and then I would slow cook it in the oven. So I'd put it all in here and then put this whole thing in the oven because it's surrounded by heat in the tagine. But you could technically do everything we just did in the tagine and it will be great and you'll rock it out. Does that answer the question?
Totally. And I just am chiming in the chat here in case you're just listening along that there's a lot of different kinds of tagines. If you have a ceramic or terracotta tagine, please read those instructions because you do need to soak it in water before you use it.
Good call.
But then there's other ones that are like cast iron that you can that are just invincible. So it really depends. But I think the OG out in the Moroccan desert was clay, right?
Yeah, clay, which again, clay over direct heat, it's hard to brown things on it. It's going to stick to the meat and things like that. So I think it depends on the tagine. Again, there's modern tagines which make it a little easier, but if it's an old school tagine, cook it in something separate that's easier to cook it in, and then transfer it and just put this whole puppy in the oven. And it can go in the oven at about 350 degrees for, again, 2 hours. So it takes the same amount of time. It's just surrounded by heat instead of direct heat. Hopefully that helps. All right, let's get to it. So, tagine, open, couscous. This is our bed, baby. Just kind of make a gorgeous little, I don't know why I'm going scoop at a time. Let's go in. And I love like a big fluffy couscous like this. Like if you've ever been to Morocco, I've been to Israel, and like they just kind of, you kind of get in there with your hands and everyone just digs in, and it's a very communal thing. It's kind of like polenta in Italy, like it just kind of happens. So nice bed of couscous. And then you grab that gorgeous American lamb and you feel good about it. The fact that you took the time to know, is this actually from America? Am I supporting America? Am I supporting my health? Am I supporting local family farms? And also just supporting the best food ever. I mean, look at this as I kind of just spoon it out. The spoon is tiny. I need a bigger spoon, but let's get a bigger spoon here. But yeah, you can just kind of drape this over the top, and you kind of want that gravy, that sauce that you worked so hard on building, just to kind of spill over the couscous, and that is the sauce. That's why we don't need to season this couscous, because the lamb is the seasoning.
That looks so luxurious. Like it's just like glowy, glossy, amazing.
Does it get much better? I don't know. And then you grab a little bit of cilantro or something kind of green, and you just kind of over the top, and I mean, you cover this up, right? And you bring this to the table, and you don't need a lot of side dishes. It's got veggies in it. It's got the couscous. It's got the protein of the beautiful American lamb. And you just come and you just kind of tilt this to the side. And people say, "You're amazing. I will come over anytime you call me." And you're like, "I made this 3 days ago, guys. You don't even know it." It's just such an easy win. So, all right, let's dig in. Best part of my job. Again, I'm going spoon, because couscous. So I'm gonna go a little couscous, grab a little bit of that gorgeous lamb. Going in again. Sorry. This is not a one-biter. This is like a, oh my gosh. I literally could just sit on a couch under a blanket with that in my lap and call it a day. Like that is all I want in life. It is so fragrant and so just your mouth is just, it's almost confused in a good way. Like it's just new flavors, the sweetness of the cinnamon, the ginger, the spiciness of the ginger, but it all works with kind of that hum of the lamb. And I think a lot of people talk to me about lamb, they go, does lamb have this gaminess? Does it have this grassiness? Not at all. Lamb has a clean finish and it just plays with flavors in such a good, natural way. The couscous is a perfect vessel just to soak up all the gravy that the lamb thickened for us. This is just a 10.
Lena, can we see one more time? I missed you. I didn't.
Oh, Lena. I love it. Guys, I was telling Christina, besides cooking over straight heat, like a fire, a tagine is one of the oldest ways you can cook, right? And again, they did this because they would, you know, obviously kill lamb back in the day out in the wild, and they would have these really tough meats that they couldn't chew through. So they had to figure out a way to cook it longer and to keep it moist. And so this is what they came up with. And this recipe and this type of cooking has been around for centuries, and there's a reason why. It is so good. And if you think about what's in it, back to my buddy who's Indian, the olives, preserved. They didn't have refrigerators in the desert where they're cooking lamb, right? You have dried fruit, preserved. It was dried in the sun. They didn't have refrigerators that keep grapes. So what you think about this recipe, it's a little taste of history, it's a little taste of the past, but there's a reason why it's so elegant and why it still works today, because it is hitting the spot. So make lamb tagine, specifically American lamb. And if you want more information on American lamb, you can go to americanlamb.com. They have so many recipes. I talked about the resources, but the recipes are insane. We work with them on the recipes too. Unbelievable assortment. So if you're kind of wondering, well, where do I get started with lamb? There's no better place. Again, americanlamb.com is where it's all at. And you can tag them at Fan of Lamb on social. They are so active and cool on social, and again, can answer any of your lamb questions. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for cooking an old school treat in a new way, and we're really excited. We'll see you on the next class, which is this coming Thursday. We've got a pesto crusted cod with roasted tomatoes. It's really bright and beautiful. And we also, next Tuesday, we're from Seattle. We're doing a Seattle style steak teriyaki. So if you're interested in a really good teriyaki sauce, by the way, that would be really good. The lamb is marinating in this marinade. Unbelievable. You're gonna love this class. Anything to add, Christina?
Thank you so much. We love our homemaders. Thanks for coming out. And I love that this week's kind of a spring mashup where we've got like rich and hearty, and then later in the week, like super bright, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to that good summer any minute.
Tomatoes and feta on the way. We love it. See you all. Take care. Thanks for tuning in.